Do you ever feel like you're creating art from your soul, but struggling to find the right people who truly get it? Maybe you look at other artists and it seems so clear who their art is for. They've got their audience and know how to connect with them. It's like they know exactly how to get their work in front of the right people. But your art, it's different. It's personal. It's connected to your story, your journey, maybe even your healing. And sometimes it feels impossible to find the people who will appreciate that. I know exactly what this feels like. I went through this huge shift in my art from painting portraits to creating abstract pieces that came from a really personal place. It felt like I was exposing parts of myself that I wasn't sure I was ready to share with the world. And I kept asking myself, how do you sell something that's so deeply personal? It took me a while to figure this out, but the soul you put into your art, the meaning behind it, that's actually what attracts the right people to your work. And today I'm going to show you how through my own experience with different art styles. Back when I first started, I was creating portraits of vibrant, melanated women with natural hair. It was what I loved to paint, and since I had natural hair myself, I was already going to natural hair shows, so I decided to try selling my art there. And something interesting happened. The women who came to these shows saw themselves in my work. They instantly connected with the pieces, no explanation needed. They saw their beauty and culture represented. But here's what really opened my eyes. Women from completely different backgrounds were buying my work too. Looking back, I wish I had asked them what drew them to my pieces. Understanding why they connected with my work, even without seeing themselves directly in it, would have given me such valuable insight into who my art speaks to. And that's something I want you to remember. When people connect with your work, ask them why, because their answers will help you understand your art's impact and guide you to more people who might resonate with it. But then something shifted in my own art journey. As much as I loved creating portraits, I found myself being pulled in a new direction. That's when I started exploring abstract art, not because portraits weren't selling, they were, but because my soul was calling for a different way to speak. With my portrait paintings, the connection was immediate and visible. People could look at the piece and instantly say, that's me, or I want to be her. But with abstract art, I find that the connection is different. I feel like it's deeper and more mysterious. Let me show you what I mean. I had an exhibition over the summer, and I intentionally observed how people interacted with my pieces. They would stand there just taking them in. When I walked up and introduced myself as the artist, they'd ask questions like, what inspired this? Or what does this mean to you? I also noticed that this style started attracting a different kind of audience: interior designers, galleries, business owners, and people looking to feature art in commercial spaces. At the exhibition, one interior designer expressed interest in my work and even invited me to do a live painting event. Others mentioned they'd love to see my work in larger sizes, like 30 by 40 inches and up, something I'm excited to explore in the near future. This shift in my audience taught me something important about connecting with the right people for your art. In the past, when someone would ask me about the story behind a piece, I made the mistake of saying there was no real story out of fear of being too vulnerable. And just like that, their interest would fade. But at this exhibition, something shifted in me. When people asked about my work, I decided to be honest. I shared how these pieces were about working through some really tough times and finding my way through. And people started connecting with the painting on a much deeper level. One person even saw their own story reflected in my piece. That's when I realized when your art comes from a deeper place, people aren't just looking for something pretty to hang on their wall. They're looking for something that speaks to them, something that mirrors their own experience. What I'm learning is that the very things I was afraid to share are exactly what create those meaningful connections. When I share my truth, the right people naturally gravitate toward my work. Since creating work that's more connected to my story, I've been attracting people who are really intentional about the art they bring into their space. And I actually understand this connection from both sides as an artist and as an art buyer. Back in late 2019, I fell in love with this piece from an artist in Russia. Every day I would check her shop just praying that nobody had purchased it yet because I was saving up for it. The woman in the painting looked so confident, fierce, and grounded. She represented everything I wanted to be but wasn't yet. When it finally arrived, and trust me, it took months because of COVID, the moment I took the painting out of the package, I can't even describe what I felt. It was like this wave of pure bliss just washed over me. Every time I look at this piece now, it makes me want to stand up straight and hold my head up high because it became more than just a painting. It became a symbol of who I was becoming. And that's the kind of connection I want to create through my art. When someone looks at my work, I want them to feel something special. I want them to feel seen and understood. So how do we actually put this into practice? How do we find these people who will deeply connect with our work? Let me share what's been working for me. I started asking my collectors a series of questions. I would ask them, why did you buy this piece? What attracted you to it? How does it make you feel? And you know what's interesting? They started using specific words. Some would say because it's beautiful, but then they'd add something like, once you told me what it meant, that's when I was hooked. Others would tell me how the piece made them feel free or how it reminded them of something personal they were going through. Some shared how the colors and textures made them feel bold and empowered, like they were peeling back layers of their own story. I started keeping track of these words in my Apple Notes because they're like little keys that unlock the connection between my art and the people who resonate with it. So here's how you can bring those feelings into the way you talk about your art. Let's say someone tells you your work makes them feel peaceful or grounded. Instead of saying acrylic painting on a 16 by 20 canvas, you can try something like, I painted this with the idea of finding peace in the chaos, the feeling when everything around you feels calm and centered. Let me give you an example from my own work. People often describe my pieces as beautiful, funky, and colorful. So instead of just listing those qualities, I talk about how my art brings elegance, playfulness, and style into a space. I even use home decor hashtags because I've noticed people who love designing their spaces really connect with these descriptions. And you know what? Sometimes we're too close to our own work to see these patterns. So if you're struggling to identify your audience or want to go deeper with this, I offer one-on-one calls to help you gain that clarity. You'll find the link in the description below. But here's something you can do right now if you haven't sold any work yet. Start with the people closest to you, your friends and family. Ask them, if you didn't know me and you saw this piece, what would attract you to it? What feeling does it give you? Pay attention to how people react to your work online too. Notice what they say, what words keep coming up, which pieces get the most engagement. Take all these words and reactions and save them. This will become your language for connecting with more people who feel the same way. Use these exact words when you write about your artwork. This also means in your captions, your website, everywhere. Once you find these words that connect, keep using them consistently. If your artwork helps people feel inspired or joyful, build that theme into your story. People will start recognizing your art as a source of those feelings. Back when I was in my early 20s and MySpace was popular, I would reach out to professional artists for feedback. They kept telling me one thing: really think about the message in your pieces. At that time, I made the mistake of glazing over this advice. I thought I could just skip this part and go straight to selling, but that's exactly where you should spend your focus. Really understanding who might connect most with your art style and your message. Think about where do they hang out, what do they do for a living, their values, etc. You need to have real conversations with real people. You have to get really good at asking questions that help you understand your true audience. If your pieces come from difficult experiences, you don't have to share every detail. Instead of focusing on the struggle, you might say, when I created this piece, I honestly wasn't in a great place, but as I kept working with these bold colors, it became something different. Now, every time I look at it, I don't see the struggle anymore. I see strength. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense. So here's what I really want you to take away from this. Finding the right people for your art isn't about changing what you create. It's about being real with how your art makes you feel and sharing that in a way that lets others connect with it too. You don't have to share every detail of your story. Sometimes the simplest, most honest words create the strongest connections. So pick one piece you've created and share it differently. Try to see what happens. Instead of just posting the technical details, share what it means to you or how it made you feel while creating it. Write it like you're telling a friend and test out different keywords and hashtags. And if you already have collectors, reach out to a couple of them and ask them what drew them to your work. Don't overthink this. Even starting with one simple, honest post can open doors to connecting with your true audience. Every piece you create has the potential to mean something special to someone else. Your job isn't to convince people to buy your art. It's to share it in a way that lets the right people find themselves in it. And if you try this and don't get much response at first, don't get discouraged. Sometimes it takes a few tries to find the right words. Also, pay attention to which posts get the most engagement. Those are clues about what's resonating with your audience. If you're creating soulful art and trying to find your people, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your biggest challenge in connecting with your audience. Sometimes the best insights come from our conversations with each other. If you found this helpful, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you'd like more support on your journey, you can also check out the description below where I have ebooks and information on my one-on-one mentoring sessions. And if there's anything that you would like for me to talk about on my channel, feel free to drop a comment below. Don't give up, keep creating from your heart, and never stop believing in yourself. I'll see you soon.